You may have been seeing a lot of viral clips and commentary around Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, the organization behind Project 2025. Some of the commentary mentions that Roberts has an academic background in African American history, slavery, and Black family survival under bondage. But many of the posts don't really get into the specifics of why that matters. So let's expand the conversation. Kevin Roberts is not some random right-wing commentator on Fox News who never studied Black history. His academic work examined enslaved Africans and African-descendant people, their family structures, kinship networks, cultural survival, and how oppressed people preserved identity under brutal systems of domination. In other words, his scholarship dealt with how Black people survived being watched, controlled, separated, exploited, and dehumanized. That is what makes his later political role so revealing. Project 2025 and the broader right-wing movement have helped turn the term woke into a catch-all slur. They use it to attack everything from honest Black history, civil rights policy, diversity programs, racial justice language, LGBTQ rights, gender debates, public education, and anything else they want their base to fear. They have swept all kinds of different issues under one African-American cultural term and turned it into a pejorative, as if woke is some sinister policy agenda orchestrated by Democrats. But woke did not start that way. Before conservatives turned it into a weapon, woke meant being awake to danger. It meant being alert to systems of power. It meant knowing how racism, policing, employment discrimination, housing discrimination, political violence, propaganda, and institutional power could harm Black people. It was survival language. Even in everyday speech, the meaning should not be hard to understand. When we tell somebody to wake up, we are telling them to stop being unaware. When we say stay woke, the cultural meaning is not mysterious. It means stay alert, pay attention, don't be fooled, don't sleepwalk through danger. This is not a Democratic Party platform. This is not a secret communist plot. This is not some new college fad. This is old Black survival wisdom. Enslaved people had to stay awake to power. They had to know when to speak, when to be silent, who could be trusted, where danger was, how to protect children, how to preserve family ties, how to pass messages, how to maintain culture, and how to survive a system designed to break them. Jim Crow survivors had to stay awake to power. Civil rights organizers had to stay awake to power. Black parents giving a talk to their children about police encounters are practicing the same survival tradition. That is why the hypocrisy around Kevin Roberts is so glaring. Roberts knows, or should know, that what conservatives now market as woke is rooted in the same Black survival tradition his own scholarship once studied. He studied how Black people preserve humanity under oppression. He studied how enslaved people built family and community networks under systems that tried to destroy them. He studied how people targeted by domination learned to survive. Then he became a leading figure in a political movement that mocks the modern language of Black vigilance and treats it like a national disease. That is not ignorance. At minimum, it is a serious lack of integrity. Project 2025 is not simply a policy book. It is a governing blueprint. It seeks to reshape the federal government, expand presidential control, purge civil service protections, eliminate DEI programs, attack critical race theory, erase equity language, and roll back the tools used to identify and address discrimination. Its supporters call that fighting wokeness. But what they are really fighting is the ability of people to name systems of power and organize against them. That is why the attack on woke matters. The word was taken from Black cultural survival language, stripped of its original meaning and intent, stuffed with every right-wing fear imaginable, and sold back to the public as a threat. They turn a warning system into a punchline. They turn alertness into extremism. They turn historical memory into indoctrination. And people like Kevin Roberts should know better, because if your own academic work taught you anything about slavery, oppression, family survival, and cultural resistance, it should have taught you this. Oppressed people do not survive by staying asleep. They survive by staying woke. This has been Scotty Reed with a Black Talk Radio News commentary.